Hello, everyone, and welcome to this live stream on studying marketing at DMU University. Thank you very much for joining us. Please leave us a comment to say hi. We'd love to hear from you. This live stream is all about getting the answers to the questions that you want about your future at DMU. So my name is Georgia. I'm going to be your host today, and I work in the Faculty of Business and Law. I'm joined by my academic colleagues and current students. So we have Associate Professor David Gordon. Let's start with the introduction. Over to you, David.
Hi, my name is David Gordon. I'm Associate Professor of Marketing in the Faculty of Business and Law. I've been with DMU for many years, but also have a corporate life background of 25 years in business. So bring that element into the marketing education as well. Thank you, Georgia.
Thank you very much, David. And of course, it would be rude not to bring a student onto this stream to give their opinion and their insight. So I'd love to welcome Sabia to the stream. Hi, Sabia, are you okay?
Hi guys, I'm Sabia and I'm a recent first-class marketing graduate from DMU. I also have 12 months industry experience in marketing as well.
Thank you very much, Saviour. So as I say, guys, today is all about getting those answers that you need for everything surrounding your future at DMU. So if you are watching and you do have any questions for David or Saviour, just put them in the chat and we'll get those answered for you. So for the next sort of 30 minutes, we'll be talking and hearing from our student about their experiences of online learning. And we'll also be answering your questions as well. And we will try and get through as many as possible. Firstly, congratulations for staying positive about your future and choosing university. We're living in an extraordinary year that has affected all our lives and plans. We completely understand how you feel. We've all been in it together. And we understand what a significant year it is because it is for us as well. So if you're planning to start or continue your higher education journey in 2020, we want you to know that DMU is here for you every step of the way. Your DMU Future is our way of connecting safe space campus living, quality teaching, one-to-one time with our academics and a great student experience, all within our diverse, inclusive and welcoming DMU community. We're committed to ensuring you get the extra help you may need with your life, work and study. And that's one of the reasons that we have these live streams, so that you have the opportunity to speak to us and get those questions answered. So we've been carefully planning for the coming year, and I think a great place to start off with is speaking to David, our academic, about what you can expect from teaching and learning on this course. So if I can hand it over to you, David.
Okay, many thanks, Georgia. So as Georgia said, we're all in it together. It's been a massive, impactful year. But at De Montfort, we've spent an enormous amount of time preparing for the next academic year, making it as absolutely seamless as possible. And what we have planned is in the first semester, there will be a blended mixture of online delivery and also face-to-face delivery, very strongly at a proper social distance. So there'll be classes with a reduced amount of people and tables and chairs spaced apart, but there will be that interaction with people with certain specified modules. People will not get the pure remote delivery. That's all in plan at the moment. And on the remote side, the platform we're using, Blackboard Collaborate, is a version of Zoom or Teams and what have you, and it enables the breakout rooms. So there'll be delivery of a lecture to students with learning checks and surveys and what have you, questions answered. But also there will be the breakout room. So in this similar to how we run a seminar, so there'll be much smaller groups with smaller teams, set a particular question, be on a theme. So we're going through that process at the moment, and we're almost at the end of it, to be honest with you, with all our updated, revised, absolute, really to the minute subject matter put in this context. So students won't miss out at all on any of the learning experience, the richness of the latest academia and research, but with a very strong layer of a contextual corporate knowledge on top of that, and work experience. So it's all in plan. We have got the technicalities. It's all in process in terms of timetabling. No one will miss out at all. So Georgia, anything else from yourself?
Nothing. Oh, that's perfect. Thank you so much, David. As I say, David is going to be around for like the next 23 minutes, something like that. And we're going to be doing like a little Q&A after we've heard a little bit from Sabia about her experience of DMU's online learning offering. So if you do have any questions for David, please put them in the comments, and we'll answer them for you. So we shall say goodbye to David for a second. There we go. And then, hi, Sabia.
Hi, Georgia.
So as I say, it would be very, very rude of us not to get a student onto this stream and talk about their experience. So back in March, and it feels like so much longer, but back in March this year, we all had to very quickly adapt to online teaching and learning. So my first question to you, Saviour, is what has your experience of online learning been?
Definitely a great one, and a smooth one as well. So as you know, back in March, everything transformed onto online teaching. And I just want to start off by saying the lecturers have been, well, my lecturers have been absolutely amazing. Whatever form of contact you needed with them, whether it was a Skype video call or a conference call or just by email communication, they were there 100% and very quickly as well. They do ensure that their students are their number one priority. So that's a great feeling to know when you're going through strange and extraordinary times. So that was really good. And just overall, like whenever you needed to reach them or have a one-to-one meeting with them, they really did dedicate their time. So that was amazing.
Yeah, and you've kind of like predicted my next question, which is amazing. It's great. So my next question is, how did you get the support you needed with your studies? So you touched on the fact that the academics were still there. How did you find getting hold of resources? How was all of that for you?
It was brilliant. So whatever resources we needed, whether it was anything in terms of support with our upcoming assignments or any upcoming exams, we had all email and communication via Blackboard on DMU. So whatever resources we needed, they were all there well in advance, so we can prepare for any upcoming assignments or exams and things like that. So that was really good.
And again, it's something you've touched on, but I feel like it is a very important like question to just make sure that we clarify so people feel like they've got all the answers. So you said you still were able to contact academics. Obviously, at DMU, when we're on campus, our academics have an open door policy that you could just knock on the door during their surgery hours and just have a little chat with them. Did you still feel like you were able to get the answers to all the questions that you needed?
100%. It was no different to like actually seeing your lecturers face to face during their surgery hours. They're all, like I said, they're always dedicated their time and ensured that the students are their number one priority. So what would have been me seeing a lecturer for a half an hour slot in her office or his office, it was no different to actually having a Skype meeting with them online. So what I'm trying to say is the quality teaching and standards have not by any means been affected, regardless of the current situation with DMU. So I really do appreciate them for that.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to hear that that's how you felt, especially it was your final year.
My final year.
It must have been like quite a nerve-wracking experience. How did you find the kind of process from going from being on campus to then all of a sudden working on home, like by yourself? How did you find that?
So like I said, it was kind of like scary for me in a way, because like it was our most important year being on final year, and for everything to just halfway through the year suddenly change from normal teaching to then online teaching, you would have thought, oh God, like what do I do? Like it's such a huge transform. But like I said, the DMU could not have made the experience any more smoother. I definitely can say I've had a good online learning experience with the university, simply because they really do, like I said, ensure they do put their students first than anything else, which is what you need, especially when you're in third year. It's your most important year. You know, this is it. This is it. After this, you know, you're not going to really get another chance. So
yeah, I think and also like probably another important question is, how did the like teaching and assessment change? Because obviously doing marketing, there is quite a lot of like creative input and things like that. How did that change, and how were your assessments changed during the time?
So a lot of on marketing, a lot of it was assignments. There was a few written exams, but of course that had to transform to online. So that was sort of transformed in a way that it was still marked and assessed as an exam, but obviously we had to write it as an assignment online kind of format. But it was no different to what it would have been in a normal exam room. We were still, you know, assessed under timed conditions, and we were still given all the guidance and prep we needed way in advance. So it didn't, to me, it didn't really feel any different. If anything, it made the process a lot more smoother, as if we weren't, let's say, in this situation and we had to sit this real exam. I think it made it much more smoother in the process.
No, I think yeah. And I think another, and again, it's for students that come into university for the first time, like making friends and having those like friendships and bonds and building those is very important. How did you feel like you were still able to like collaborate with other students? Did you still feel like that was available for you? And if so, how did you do it?
Oh, definitely. Like if I was it's obviously important to network with different students whilst you're at uni, but if like say like you don't have any network, so you don't really know anyone on the course, if you needed some kind of information or if you needed support from your peers amongst a cohort, you can always get in touch with your lecturers for any recommendations. Like they'll be able to point you to, oh, I know a good student who has got this, or who knows that might be able to help you. So it's, you're not stuck, if that's what I'm trying to say. There's always like a way, like a help available to you. So
definitely, and I think one of the like you say, the things that you touched on is our academics and professional service staff and student advice centre. Everyone is here to help you. So whilst we might not be together in the same format, we are here for you, and we are available for you to speak to if need be. Thank you so much for sharing your like your experience, Sabia. Just before I say goodbye to you, I will bring you back a little bit later, but just before, I just want to say massive congratulations for receiving or graduating with a first class honours. Like we've said, sort of this year of students are in a time that sort of none of us expected. So for you to continue working as hard as I know you have, and I've seen it, you should be really proud of you, and everyone at DMU is super proud of you all. So I just wanted to say that. So we'll say goodbye to Saviour for a second, and then what we're going to do now is we're going to have a little Q&A. So we've got some questions prepared that we know that students want the answers to. As I say, if there is something that's a little bit more specific to you, please feel free to put them in the comments, and we'll get them answered. So for the time being, I shall bring David back. We love that. Hi, David. So David, the next question, the question that like I think we should first start off with will I still have one-to-one contact with an academic?
Yeah, definitely. So we as well as lectures online and some face-to-face lectures in every few weeks, so you have that contact point. You'll have the seminars that we delivered online, or again every few weeks when we're in this pause or this semi-period. But every single student throughout the whole life at De Montfort University has an individual supervisor, and it's not necessarily the sort of person that you have to reach out to. You don't even need to speak about anything academic. It could be something quite personal, and it is 100% confidential. we deal with all sorts of issues and challenges and questions and pressures. And even if it's just getting something off your chest, we've got telephone, we've got email, but importantly, we've got video to be able to do that. So absolutely, Georgia, one-to-one students can get.
Perfect. We've got a couple of comments. One of them is from a student, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce your username. I apologize, I don't want to butcher it. And he was just wondering if there are many international students applying for postgraduate courses. So I know this is obviously an undergraduate one, but if the students here, we may as well try and answer their question as well.
Yeah, definitely. So we offer 3 postgraduate programs. De Montfort, we offer the MSc in Marketing Management and the MSc in Advertising and PR Management. Both of those courses you can apply for without any prior marketing qualifications at all. It could be someone who just really fancies using their undergraduate degree and maybe changing the course of their career and their learning. And then we also do an MSc in Strategic and Digital Marketing. The prerequisite is you've got to have done some marketing education before. We are having a large amount of undergraduate applicants apply for the postgraduate course at the moment, wanting to further their learning, wanting to have that little edge that potentially, and it's not applicable for every single student, but some students and international and UK students are thinking it is going to be tough for the next year to maybe find a job. There's not going to be the part-time jobs. I can't go traveling. I've got this opportunity in my life. Rather than do it part-time over a number of years when I've got the added pressure of work, I've got this opportunity to be able to study for a master's qualification. And again, have it partly remote and partly face-to-face, so it'll be blended, still have the same richness of experience, but we are having a number of international students, so it'll be exactly the same whether you're UK based or foreign or internationally based and then come over to the UK.
Perfect. I hope that answers your question. What we'll do is we will post a link to where you can find out more information about our postgraduate marketing courses. It's just below us now, and we'll also pop it in the chat as well, so you can find out more information there. The next one is from a different student. So this is obviously in regards to marketing. If you're after engineering management, if you go to the DMU live stream section of the website, you'll be able to find out more information about the engineering programs there. So hopefully that answers your question. Thank you guys for watching as well. Really appreciate it. So the next question that we've got prepared is, how will my course look in September/October?
It'll look no different from how it would be if it was 100% physically face-to-face. We have got still the richness of learning material. As I mentioned before, it'll be in terms of recorded, there'll be some elements of recorded lectures, some elements of face-to-face lectures. There'll be seminars that are, again, blended. This is in the first semester, and after Christmas, we are looking at an on-site. We have to be very careful of what we commit to and say. We've got to strongly adhere to the government guidelines in every university, you can understand in this position. We are looking at after Christmas, with all things being okay, with the government being okay with this, of being on site totally for face-to-face, and if it needs certain restrictions, we'll deliver those. But your course will be exactly the same. We're going through the annual cycle of adding all the richness of the latest news and the latest context and the latest things that are happening in the marketing world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's worth adding to that as well, that we are, that at the moment, sort of DMU campus is undergoing a sort of like a little bit of a transformation. So we are putting in one-way systems. We've got antibacterial gel dotted around the campus as well, and also, like David was saying, that it is going to be a blended learning approach. And for some things like your seminars, which will be face-to-face, they may be in larger seminar classrooms, so we can adhere to the 2 metre guidelines. So Simran, thank you very much for watching. Again, this is about marketing. So if you want to go back onto the website, go back onto the DMU website and look for the fashion live stream, and there'll be a better place to help you. Hope that answers your question, Simran. The next question that I have got for you, David, is, will I still be able to go on a placement as a student? So obviously, we know that placements are very beneficial to our marketing students. Saviour obviously did a 12-month placement, and it was really useful. Will future students still get those opportunities?
Absolutely, yes. We have quadrupled the size of our placement unit over the past few years. We've got a real richness of experience, commercial experience of the people down there with great links with industry. So bottom line, yes, it'll be no different. It may be a slightly reduced amount of placements that are offered by companies. We don't actually quite know yet. But if students have even got the slightest inkling of doing a placement, I would say definitely do them. I come from an industrial past, commercial past, and I've spent a number of years taking on placement students myself. And it's a very, very, very cost efficient resource. I wish I could have had more of them, and really effective, often a lot brighter than some of the people that younger people I've worked with, really sharp placement people. So very valuable. And companies know this. Companies know that they have got this rich resource in universities. So yes, there will still be the opportunity to go on placement.
Perfect. And it's also worth saying, you will hear us talk about our placement team a lot. They are fabulous. Speak to our placements team. They will be able to support you, and they still are supporting students currently as well. So if you need more information, then definitely get in touch with our placements team. Simran, no worries at all. Hope you get the answers to the questions that you need. Next question that I have is quite a big one, and it's all around the support that students are going to receive. So what sort of support will they get? I know Sabi has touched on it briefly, but would you like to explain in a little bit more detail, David?
Okay, there's various levels of support. So I mentioned about so individual modules, individual subject areas. Every single lecturer or module leader has an allotted time of the week for surgery sessions. So that's the type of questions that when students maybe don't want to ask anything in a class or on video or in the seminar, they can just go along for a one-to-one, say to the lecturer, tell me that again, I didn't quite get it at the time. So there's that level of support, which thank heavens we're all different and we all learn things in different ways. So we really welcome and expect that. So there's that level at a module level. There's the course leader that we call a program leader. They'll have that surgery time to be, if anyone's got a question about their whole degree and the structure of it, there's that support that they get. We have the student advice center, which for those functional operational questions, how do I get this? Who do I talk to about that? What's happening with this? And that's open so many hours of the day with a counter desk right near our cafe in the Hugh Aston building where marketing students are based. Georgie mentioned about the placement, so support there. We also have support over in the Students' Union, whether it's disability support for students who just need a bit of extra help in certain ways. We are ranked 4th in the country for the amount of students we take on and help and nurture and provide exactly the same experience for with students with disabilities. So there are various different levels of support for students.
Thank you, David. We've got a question from Shay. Hi, Shay. Thank you for watching. And it's slightly off topic, but we will answer it. Shay wants to know, what careers have recent graduates gone on to?
Lots. Just the most immediate ones. We've got a graduate that has just got a graduate job, a couple of months ago. This is before he even took his final assessments. Got a job with Prince's Foods up in Liverpool, so look after loads of different brands. So he's a junior marketing person there. That's a great opportunity in the food and food retail side of the economy. Equally, we've got a young lady who's got a job with one of the major, I won't mention any brands, but an insurance provider of different sorts of insurances in the UK. Great opportunity based in the Far East Midlands. We've got a number of students that have got placements, again, retail companies. So a lot of retail companies have still fared well. Yes, there was a complete lockdown and everything was put on hold, including pausing of certain graduate positions. But only today we've heard that the retail sales are bouncing near lockdown levels, and more the retailers and the food suppliers and lots of different industries in the UK are thinking, aha, we need really cost effective, really value for money, but really sharp students. So in a variety of sectors, it kind of, I won't mention the ones that have been most affected. We all kind of know those, and they're going to be the ones that maybe aren't going to be taking on so many graduates. But in terms of careers, it'll follow the economy.
Thank you so much, David. Hopefully that answers your question, Shay. Simran, this is all information surrounding your DMU Future. So this isn't an online class. The next question that I would like to ask you, David, is will the way that students are assessed be different?
Maybe a touch different. So, for example, where we would sometimes have a great big hall full of people doing a physical multiple choice test, that'll be online. Where there are certain assignments where we would have small clusters of students that are doing a group exercise, analysing something, researching something, analysing it, coming up with a solution. And very often we have allotted rooms at De Montfort where they're quiet rooms for group activities, specifically for these small assignment groups. It may not be possible to do that, and again with social distancing, but we've got the facility to do that online at all. Absolutely. So no one will miss out at all in that kind of experience. We will still have, and I said in marketing, I see the range of all the different myriad types of assessments, and there's just one or two that we're having to change. Everything's as it was before.
Thank you, David. We've got another question, another comment from a student. But because that's quite specific to the student's journey coming to DMU, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop your contact details, David, if that's okay, in the comments, and then you can have a chat offline with that student, just asking. They just need a little bit more advice if a course is right for them, and I know you'd be best placed to do that.
Yeah, always there to help.
Thank you very much. So another one, and again, Saviour has touched on this sort of briefly, is like, if a student is stuck, it happens. There's sometimes modules that like just some people can't understand and they have a question. Will they still be able to get that help?
Definitely. The smartest students are the ones that say, just need a bit of help. I don't quite get it. And it's nothing to do with students not being able to understand. Sometimes it's the way the lecturer has told you about it. Not that it's good or bad. We all remember those teachers at school that just opened up the door, whether it's maths or science or a certain subject, and you think, why couldn't other people have explained it as simply as that? So thank heavens, again, we're all different. Students are all different, lecturers are all different. But if students do have that extra question they don't want to ask in class, I mentioned before about the individual subject, the surgery times we call it. So this is open door policy, and you can book the time, so you're not having to queue up for lecturers for their one-to-one time. You can book the time undisturbed and know that you can freely ask a question. You just want something explaining again. And what a lot of lecturers will do, will maybe have 2 or 3 different ways of explaining something. so that we're absolutely assured that one of the ways you'll be able to get.
Thank you very much, David. Pippa, thank you very much for watching. You'll notice that we've put David's email address in there. If you just need a little bit more advice and you just want to have a little chat about the course, just drop David an email and he's happy to arrange a call, just have a little chat with you, just because we haven't got the sort of the time to go through individual cases on here. So hopefully emailing David and having a chat with him will help. Karen, I believe your name is. If you are looking to connect with students that are coming to DMU, please go to Facebook and search for Applying to DMU 2020. You'll find people that have come into DMU and you'll find loads of relevant information. So it might be an idea to pop over there and give that a quick join. So just a few more questions, David, and we'll keep an eye on that comment section, see if there's anything. In terms of software, resources, things like that, will students still have access to all of those, and how will they gain access?
Absolutely. So in terms of the resources, so they'll have a De Montfort email address, you'll have access to, we have a portal, an online environment we call Blackboard, that is a repository for all the lecture pre-recorded lecture materials, for certain journal articles, for all of the actual subject specific things, as well as the De Montfort library that's for search for articles, for search for text, gain some text actually live. All of that will be available, and that'll all come out in a real easy to read pack for students, so they won't necessarily be bombarded with information. It'll come out in real bite-sized chunks, so everything's as a student approaches a certain subject or has a new lecture, again on this learning environment, this portal Blackboard, there is a certain area that is specific to a subject, and that'll have again all the information for that subject, but all of the learning environment is exactly the same. And we have a number of students that maybe have other commitments, some work commitments, some family caring commitments, at the time when they are, if you like, meant to be here 24/7 full time, that just sometimes can't be for whatever reason. So that's quite normal that we provide all of these things to these students remotely. So it'll be no different next year.
Thank you, David. Now I know when people think of marketing courses, they don't necessarily anticipate it to be like quite a practical course. However, I know that we have done plenty of trips to help teach students and give them like a different learning experience. So how will learning be affected for those elements, those more practical elements of the course? How will that be done going forward?
Okay, some things I'm very much involved with and driving myself and putting together myself. This morning I was on a couple of conference calls. Myself and a few other colleagues, this is just one of the strands, we're putting together a series of what we call marketing expert videos, just short recordings of casual conversations with people that with a number of us have worked with in the past, maybe some ex-students, that we can not learn in a formal setting, but we can hear how it really is. What's it really like going on a placement year? And we won't just be picking the most positive students, we won't be picking someone who's really negative, obviously, but they'll gain that kind of real experience. We're also reaching out to again other people who maybe work internationally, seeing if they can do a live stream inside a lecture, whether it's physical or whether it's a virtual. We can actually bring those people in. So it'll be again that rich learning environment, that realistic, contextual, very much commercially based learning environment sometimes, but bringing people in virtually so they get the same experience.
Thank you, David. So my final question that I'm going to ask, unless we get anything else in the comments, so I'll ask you first, David, and then I'm going to bring back Saviour and ask Saviour the same question. So my final question to you is, what advice would you give to students that are starting, if they are joining us in September? What advice would you give them?
What advice would I give? Where do I start? No, I think don't be scared to ask. Everyone's got the same questions, and we are really prepared for people asking loads of questions. Even if it seems just a simple, even silly question, nothing's a silly question. We're all human. Ask the questions, research what your courses are, what your time to become familiar with the couple of platforms that we have. I mentioned Blackboard before. There's My DMU that we term, which is again a portal for everything, for your timetable, for any of the contacts and support facilities here. Be familiar with those when you register to come on the course, when you actually, if you like, physically arrive on the day virtually. Be familiar with those 2 or 3 different platforms and ask the questions if you've got any.
Thank you so much, David. Let me bring back Sabia. Hi, Sabia. So, student to student, what would your advice be?
First of all, like David said, if you've got a question or you're unsure about something, definitely ask, because if you don't, the answer will always be no. So definitely ask, always be prepared, be organized, definitely network and grow your contacts. It's a great way to enhance your learning experiences. I would definitely say, other than just obtaining a degree, definitely get involved with volunteering opportunities, international experiences. Definitely consider doing a placement. There are just fantastic things to add to the CV, and also gives you a wonderful talking point at potential placement interviews and graduate opportunities as well. So definitely just enhance your entire experience and embrace every moment, because you're only going to get one chance at this. You're not going to get it again. It'll only be memories before you know it to look back on. So definitely just enjoy it and work really, really hard. Thank you, Georgia.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Sabia. Simran, if you're looking to study at DMU, we would love to have you. Thank you very much for your comment. And I think that's all we have time for today. So thank you everyone for joining us. Big thank you to David and Sabia for sharing their experiences. Thank you everyone for your comments and your comments and your questions. Sorry. You can find out more information about your DMU Future on our website. So we'll post a link to it in the comments. So just put up there. That's where the most up-to-date information is about everything that is happening. We would love you. Oh, and there it is. I love when that happens. Just underneath me. We would also love you to join us for our exciting community event coming up today. Well, tonight, Friday the 24th of July, for our offer holders, which is our big night in. I've heard about this. It sounds very, very exciting. So if you are a marketing offer holder, please go to our website, find out a little bit more and book your place. Just want to say have a lovely rest of the day, everybody. And we hope to see you at DMU soon. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.